What's up, listeners? Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. This week, me and Les sat down with the very funny Jim McCue, who's from Boston, and he runs the whole Boston competition up there. And we got to sit down with Geno Williams, a.k.a. Geno the Garbage Man, and we had a great talk, man. I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Also, towards the end of the podcast, Les actually had some old friends from college drop in just to do a little guest spot, and they had some fun. We all had some fun. Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to the conversation.
All right, again, the conversation from the Green Room, Mccurdys Comedy Theater, as always, this is just the conversation that we as comics have back here. Whatever happens, as close as we can keep it a natural conversation with mics in our damn faces.
Yeah.
That's what we did. And it's not an interview, and so that's what we're doing. And we were just talking about, before this came on, the complete, utter collapse of the damn Lightning hockey. Oh, and by the way, Eugene Williams, stage name Geno, the Garbage Man, Geno, the Garbage Guy, is right here. Say a little something so they know your voice.
How everybody doing, man? We're just hanging out back here.
That's right. And then Big Mike's over here.
I'm the
too.
producer.
And Jim McCue, our headliner from Boston, will be with us in a little bit. Maybe some other people will drop by. But, I was just outside with my friends Rob and Kelly Jeffries, who are old friends of mine from Memphis. We went to college together, and they're in Sarasota for the first time.
Wow.
But he was, we were talking about that, that complete collapse of the Lightning.
That's
and
worst I ever seen.
Yeah, but he was, we were talking about how, he was saying that Golden State last night, was it?
Yes.
Was up 31 points in the third period and lost.
They were up 31 points?
Yes.
Up 31 points and lost.
Yes.
Damn.
To a team that they should not lose to.
Greatest comeback in history.
Yes.
I'm talking about complete collapse. I don't know what happened.
Does Trump have something to do with this?
I think
shit?
it might be.
I don't know.
Something is going
Something's
on.
in the air.
Everybody collapsing at the same time.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Look, don't collapse tonight on stage.
I hope I don't, man.
I'm not.
I'm going to try my best not to.
But, and of course, I guess, I don't know. There's all kinds of theories on why it happens. And in one basketball game, we haven't seen Golden State completely collapse yet or anything like that. But that Lightning thing, here you had a hockey team that, to my knowledge, had the best record of any hockey team in the regular season in the history of hockey. Oh, Jim McCue, come on in. So have a seat.
Jim,
pull up a chair and a mic.
Wow.
Now you know the concept of this, right? It's just whatever the fuck we talk about.
It's guys talking in the green room.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Just hanging out.
And we were just talking about the collapse of the Lightning hockey. Where they lost those. They lost in the first
can
round.
I talk about the Hartford Whalers then? Is that that was my team growing up.
The Hartford Whalers?
Hartford Whalers. That was a score by your Hartford Whalers. And you did not hear that song a lot.
But you're a Boston guy.
Yeah.
So are you a Bruins?
I'm a transplant.
You're a Boston transplant?
Yeah, I grew up in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Right,
okay.
that's why I got my Avs.
But there's no Connecticut hockey.
No.
There's no Stanford Sailors.
No. I don't want to be...
there's no Hartford Hurt-Yas.
Yeah.
I think there may be Whalers again, but they may be whaling in Hartford again, but I don't know if it's not NHL hockey,
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
Down there. So you're a Boston fan? Do you go to?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never get to games because I'm always telling jokes for money.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever possible.
It always gets in the way of things,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it always gets in the way of things.
Yeah.
I quit doing that for a while. I still tell jokes, but I just let y'all tell jokes.
When you own an ice cream store,
that's right.
Sometimes you go, I don't need to get an ice cream cone
no,
today.
don't need one. Don't need it. No. Exactly right. Exactly. Oh God. Well, anyway, that just was incredible to all of us.
It just was a perfect example. One team came in ready. The other team wasn't.
Well, like I say, that's what my buddy was talking about, was that Columbus had to win their last several games to get into the playoffs. So 3 weeks out, they're in playoff head, and they won like 7 of their last 9 games. And as opposed to the Lightning is 3 weeks out is on cruise control. They don't have to win a game.
That's a problem, I think.
What's that?
When you're just cruising like that.
But don't you think that's your coach? I mean, that's
I
your
think you should still
coaching
play
staff
hard.
and your leadership should notice that.
Motivate.
Well,
I would think.
It reminds me of Green Bay. It was right after they won the championship with Aaron Rodgers. They came in next season, went 15-1, going in the playoffs. In the last game, they sat all their starters. Just basically tried to lose the last game of the regular season.
Because
they came in and got their asses whooped in the playoffs because none of them were hot, none of them were ready. It was just
was that
choice.
mentality of they won so many in a row and they're going to lose one anyway, so let's go ahead and lose this one.
Well, they had already lost. They already lost one game back, so they couldn't go for the undefeated regular season record.
Right.
So they just said, "Fuck it, like we don't need to win this game," and it completely demoralized the team. It just didn't work out at all. And they
In
lost
sports,
the
a lot
first
of
game.
times, it's hard to turn that switch on and off.
Yeah.
Once you're hot, you got to stay hot. Once you turn that switch off,
Yeah.
it's hard to turn that switch back on. And that's what happened to the Lightning.
Yeah, I
that
think so.
other team came in hot, and the Lightning was cruising. And then when it hit the playoff time, that team was still in that hot mode.
I think so.
And caught the Lightning completely off guard, man.
Yeah, it's an underdog team.
Completely off guard. They was hungry. They already feel what they need to do to get there, and the Lightning was already there.
The good thing about it is I saved a bunch of fucking money because I was already planning on going to at least 3 or 4 playoffs. At least 3 or 4.
The funny thing about it on the garbage truck, you see all the Lightning flags and all that stuff in the people's yards on the cars. After they was down 3-0, you don't see no more Lightning flags in the houses.
Yeah, they're all in garage sales and shit.
We were basically
Selling
throwing
them
all of them away
25
now,
cents a
what
pop.
I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
I literally could not watch the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Especially once the other team went up, I went, no, fuck no.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'll kind of peek at the score every now and then. If we get up a couple of scores, I'll tune in. Otherwise, I'm not sitting here watching this crap.
No.
Yeah, they was in cruise control. Yeah. They winning, Tampa Bay Rays winning, so it was just party time.
Right, right. The Rays, they come in with that young team the end of last year.
Right.
And they were good. I mean, a bunch of guys you never heard of for the most part. But, of course, they'll all end up being Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees within the next
After
3
this
years.
season, yeah.
As soon as their contracts run out.
They'll start getting plucked. They'll start getting plucked
We're
out.
the farm team
Yeah.
for the Yankees.
I always
and
think
the
of that
Sox.
movie Moneyball, where the guy goes to Boston. They're going to learn how to hire all these acts that aren't, these players that aren't the big money players.
Right.
But then went, we're going to get all the, the stats guys the way you did, but we're still going to get the big guys too.
Right.
We're going to get everybody.
Yeah.
That's what they learned.
Of course. That's right.
And that's the difference that's happening right now in sports too. You might have that dominant team, and then you might have that team now that's like the Devil Rays, a lot of no names, and those no names are more hungry than the guys that's already paid.
They got nothing
you understand
to
where
lose.
I'm coming from?
Yeah.
They got nothing to lose.
Everything for them is an upside.
Sure.
It's a
they're
good
just playing
position.
ball. having fun.
Right. It's a
They-
big difference.
They can't believe they're getting paid.
Right.
They're in the show. They go.
Yeah.
If this goes an extra year, I can marry a really good-looking woman.
They having They having
My turn to
fun.
go on stage.
They having fun. It's just fun for them.
Yeah. Does
Does this go right through the comedy show as they
yeah,
bring
they
us
can
up?
hear us outside right now, actually. No, it's
No, I mean this podcast. You're gonna be podcasting
during the
while
whole
the
show.
whole show goes on. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's just rolling.
This is good. There isn't enough distractions when you're doing comedy.
No.
No, yeah.
No, I don't completely forgot my skit, everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I gonna be doing, man?
It's funny to watch as a producer. Like,
Yeah.
you see him, oh shit, it's my time, and they have to
That's
Yeah.
funny.
get up and dodge microphones and not step on wires. It's
So I'm
pretty
sorry I
exciting.
didn't meet you before. My name's Jim. Did we meet before?
No, first
you doing?
time. Geno.
Gino, nice to meet you. Oh, is he tied in there somehow?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh man,
I ain't want to hit. I ain't want to
You
hit
really
the
didn't want to do this podcast, do you? He's like,
Yeah.
The
He's handcuffed
microphone
down.
look expensive. I can't cover this.
oh boy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I read that. You know, break it, you bought it. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's in the
Oh,
contract.
Just give me a cup and a string. I'll just yell.
You see how I lean sideways? I don't even want to brush it, man.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's pretty nice setup though. I like it.
So Gino, you from down around here? Or?
Yes sir. Locally, born and raised. You know,
Oh, cool.
came in through Les's Human Institute,
Oh, cool.
and I've been riding with him ever since. You know,
Nice.
It's pretty nice. I really love it. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Came a long way. So.
Now we could be get it together all week, or
Yes sir.
Okay,
We
cool,
hanging
cool.
out.
Yeah,
I
man.
was gonna say I'd like to see you, but I'm doing a podcast now.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. You're locked in, Jim. You're
Yeah,
locked
you
in.
locked in. Jim. You're on lockdown. We'll be free tomorrow.
This is cool though, because I thought you were gonna be winding it up right at the bell here.
No.
Because
we're
I
just-
read your email and I
keep
thought it
going.
was gonna be after the show somehow. I'm
Yeah.
learning this thing about myself. I read, but I don't actually.
Yeah.
None of the words go into my brain. I just think I know what somebody's saying.
You're like, yeah,
I think I'm starting to
Like
get
you read
like
the
that,
first
man.
12 words, you go, yeah.
yeah, whatever. You're fucking
Podcast after the show.
stupid podcast.
I'm starting to do that when the wife talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear the first 3 words so I can catch on, and then I'm zoned out. She be like, "Huh?" I be like, "Oh yeah, for
Yeah, you
real."
gotta replay those words back to her.
Yeah, make sure you didn't miss nothing.
Yeah. You gotta always say, "Huh?" Yeah, you're right.
You're like a
You know-
stenographer
Yeah.
right by your side at all
Uh-huh.
times.
Yeah.
Just typing away. That's some funny shit.
Gotta always have that attention span, man. Think the older we get, that attention span starts to leave. You know,
Yeah.
especially when you're watching something you really like. That's when they really want to talk.
Yeah.
You watching something real good and and you like, oh yeah, You don't know what she said. She
Right.
could've
Yeah.
did-
I think. What do they call it? Is it OCD where you're just like I'm like that. Like if I something on TV I want to watch, there's nothing else in the room going
I
on.
think it's ADD.
ADD. That's what it is. Yeah. I'm definitely that.
Or selective hearing, selective
Right.
attention span.
I think I'm definitely ADD because it's that the way I do my comedy too. Is I'm
Yeah.
distracted by everything in the room.
Yeah, you look at somebody's purse and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Right.
Why are you, what is that? What's going on there? Yeah, I see.
And and so I hyper focus sometimes and cut everything else out. And that
Yeah.
you're right. That's when she'll decide to bring something.
everything comes up. Then,
Yeah.
you know, and
This is it. This is the last play of the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah.
Do you think Sadie, our cat, is acting strangely?
yeah.
And they hear the voice. It's like out of sight of your body. It's like it's a ghost voice floating around the outside of the room. You're not really. And you're thinking, I thought I heard something about a cat. Like, this can't be right. It's the last play of the Super Bowl.
I didn't even know we had a cat. Like,
Right.
Sometimes I have to pause and say, "You was right. What you was talking about again?" Yeah, that's right. She'd be like, "What you mean that's right? I ain't asked you nothing. I ain't tell you nothing."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, okay, all right. You're right."
You're right.
You're like, can we just get to the part where I apologize and we can move on?
Yeah.
It's just the weirdest times they want to talk, man.
Right.
That's not like that where that DVR pause play function comes in real nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Pause the fucking game.
Yeah.
What happened?
That DVR
What about
start-
Sadie the cat? Like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, that DVR starting to kill me. When you go when you miss something, you go back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now if I went back on the movie, how can I be seeing what everybody else sees? Then you got to go back live. I'm like, there's too much technology going on. You know,
Yeah.
too
Gets
much,
too crazy.
too much.
I was just hearing on the radio they're talking about now, like with all the online streaming shows.
Yeah.
It's going to be more expensive than when everybody was getting out of cable. Like, it's cheaper. I don't need cable. I got internet. It's like, no. If you want to have, Netflix and you want to have
With all the
Hulu
subscriptions.
and you want to have Amazon or what, like all of it.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be Apple.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get $15-$20 out of you.
Yeah, it's like gonna be.
Now you're in for,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, like, unless you just have one subscription service, but nobody's doing that. you know?
Nobody. Yeah, because, everybody, like HBO is, everybody, you're going to want to see Game of Thrones,
Yeah, pretty much.
or whatever their hottest show is.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're also going to want to see whatever the hottest thing on Amazon is, which I don't even know. But Netflix has always got a couple things you can only see in
Right.
Netflix.
Right.
But that's how, like, I remember when you pick like a TV package for cable. Right. Like the packages are lined up so where it's like you want to get both packages because this one only has ESPN2.
Right.
This one has ESPN8, but it also has CNN. Like they try to like make it to where you have to have both. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a complete
Right. Or
comprehensive
your whole
package.
there's a big hole in your life.
Yeah. And then you have like 900 channels and like
Right.
you don't have time to watch any. You have time with one fucking channel maybe. You know what I mean? A day.
I made the crossover to Frontier.
Yeah.
And I'm surfing the channels, and I'm hitting Sports Center. I'm like, it says subscribe. I mean, what do you mean subscribe? This is supposed to be free.
Yeah.
Anything I get in cable has to have sports free.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I had to call up we need Sports Center. Okay, we got Sports Center. So I go to NBA. What's the one? The NBA channel.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to NBA and I'm like, wait, hold on now. I can't even get NBA.
Oh my
honey,
God.
we got to change back.
We
man.
thought we were so smart, and back, our fathers had 3 channels, but they watched boxing for free.
Everything.
That's Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
Boxing night. They watched. They got all the major golf on Sunday. They got all the baseball games. They got all the football games on Monday, on Sunday.
Yeah. It's
In my
So
house,
are we really smart? No.
in my house, it was wrestling, baseball, and football. Always on Pop's TV.
Yeah.
Wrestling, he had those channels.
And wrestling was Saturday mornings, right?
Right.
Saturday morning. That's right.
And it was hype.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, it was like a real wrestling match going on in the house. They got food, they got everything going on. Lights dimmed. I'm like, man, what's going on in here? It was crazy.
I was watching a documentary on Buster Keaton. You know who Buster Keaton is? Very physical, silent movie comedian. Real like a genius,
Yeah.
And they were talking about how the stuff he was doing influenced everything, including cartoons. And he and some of the the Stooges and a lot of this other stuff, they got hurt most by cartoons when Saturday night, because Saturday cartoons were doing slapstick.
Right.
They really just took that over.
They just took it over,
and now instead of hitting somebody with a hammer, you could literally drop an anvil or a train on somebody.
Yeah, it's so much funnier.
Right.
Yeah.
A rocket pack.
Yeah. Acme Roadrunner and all that shit.
Right.
It's so weird how that works.
The animation has changed so much right now,
Right.
for the cartoons. I remember back when we had what is his name, Ultraman. You remember Ultraman?
Ultraman. I just saw that on Netflix. Is now a show.
Yeah.
Ultraman.
Ultraman. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was Ultraman. I'm talking about one silver big guy, taking down planes and bad gorillas and stuff. That was the heat. Now I walk in the room and it's SpongeBob. It's everybody going on right now, man. So much stuff going on right now.
They had you'll never guess who played Johnny Storm. They had an animated thing in the 60s.
I remember Johnny Storm.
You know who the voice was?
No.
Bill Murray.
Are you serious?
Bill Murray.
No
Look it up.
shit.
Go on YouTube
Yeah.
and put Bill Murray, Johnny Storm. And it's like it's his voice going, like whatever the lines are.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
What's the beef, Reed?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really doing a bad. I'm doing both impressions badly. Johnny Storm and Bill Murray.
At the same time, it's actually impressive. It's like you're bad at both of them. It's great.
Well, that's my thing. I don't do impressions. I do, hey, that's a great character you do. No, I was doing an impression, but it's so bad I've created a new human being out of it.
Never heard of that before.
You made up somebody completely different.
Oh yeah.
So just as long as you don't tell people you're doing impressions, they think you're a great, developer of characters.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
I think I better start putting my stuff on, man. We just hanging out, having fun. I forgot we got to do a show, man.
Yeah.
It's fun, though. The first time doing this, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, McCurdy does this better than anyone. There's not too many clubs that, I came in early. He's got packed house on Sunday. He's got packed house on Wednesday, on Thursday. It's
ever since he moved.
So many clubs in the country. It's Friday. Yeah, I drove by the old place, and he made such the right move here. This is
right.
They got parking.
It's
and safe to walk at night.
Right.
And so many people are not going down that area where he was. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they love Mccurdys, but they just wasn't going. But here, it's like, let's go eat. You know, let's get some dessert. Let's go over there
Absolutely.
to the club. You know,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's have some fun. You know.
I was wondering, there used to be a restaurant across the street where everyone went to hang out afterwards, like all the comedians and everything.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
bet they're probably almost out of business because everybody, like
Yeah.
the whole Mccurdys would just cross the street for, you know.
for dinner.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
his whole staff, everybody went
yeah.
over there.
I think it was Memories, maybe. Or
Yeah, something like Memories Lounge or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
you know?
Memories Lounge.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
across
yeah.
the highway. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think they're still around, but yeah.
Yeah, they still around now. They still
Yeah.
around now. They're still around.
And I bet
But
they
that-
have
but
like a
that
whole
plaza-
wall full of like famous comedians that
Oh yeah.
hung out in there after shows. You know what I mean?
Right?
That plaza is pretty much getting abandoned though. Where
Yeah.
he was, yeah. It's going down.
It happens. They'll make a fucking Dave and Buster's or some shit.
Yeah, Les was telling me the dude was trying to convince him to stay.
Yeah.
Telling him a big some kind of like flea market type thing coming in. Flea market? Really?
Yeah, that's the audience you want, right
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
The flea market audience. That's funny. Well, we were talking earlier about like underdog, you know, the person who's supposed to win and everything like that. Is that happen in comedy at all? Like the comedy competitions? I know you're big up
Yeah,
there.
it's a. You don't know. I mean, you don't know. It's a. The first round is, you know, I think it's as hard as any round, you
Really?
know, because you got to get to that next level.
Yeah. In 5 minutes, right? Or how
You
much
got
time?
5 minutes.
Five
you got
minutes.
5 minutes, and you got I think it's 10 or 12 acts on.
That's crazy.
And there's a lot. There's going to be a mix of hitters, and you're pulling your name out of a hat. So you know, as comedians, you know where you end up on that show
Right,
when
right.
everybody's mood peaks out,
Right.
and then weird stuff happens. You know, you'll have somebody crush in front of you, which could be great or not great,
Right,
or
right.
you know, you have not too many because we vet everybody pretty well. Everybody's pretty good,
Yeah,
but once in a while you'll have somebody that flames out.
Right.
So if they flame out and you're next, you could be warming them up for the guy after you.
Yeah.
It's all like this, you know. And
weird how that works.
I think it's. I always say like, you know, comedy contests they suck. You know, they're horrible.
Yeah.
But you know, we make it equally horrible for everybody. That's the best we can do.
It's fair.
And yeah, and it's, you know, it's a chance to get seen
Yeah.
by somebody who can give you work.
Right.
And all the other festivals, when I started it, we're going there 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started it was, I went to the festivals and you know, like if somebody like Lewis Black was in whatever name the insert festival here, and there wasn't that many of them, but I noticed all the industry would follow him wherever he went because they want to hang out with the famous guy, the cool guy,
I see.
no matter who's there. And you think,
Right,
well,
right.
you're here to see talent, not they don't care.
Right.
You know, and so I was like, if we have a contest that you give them a clipboard, they have to sit there and look at people.
Right.
So like kind of force people to watch new talent because that
Yeah.
was the whole idea. And originally it was really just to try to get industry to come to Boston
right.
because I try to get, you know, it was like getting people from LA and New York. They wanted you to go there, and we had a lot of talent
In Boston.
in Boston. You know,
Of course, some of the best comics ever. I feel like come out
right?
of Boston.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks come out there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think them comedy contests is a real weird too. You know, cause I mean, majority of the time,
Right.
the audience is there to see a certain comedian. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, to support.
Yeah.
you know, and then everybody's in the back and everybody's like, you know.
Well,
good
ours has
luck,
been
good
going.
luck.
We're in 20 years, so they know the festival's going to have good, really funny acts that they've probably never seen before.
That's
And then what we do is we'll get like local headliners to open and close, or if there's, you know, or you know, depending who's in town that we can put into the mix.
so to put to have like a takeaway value almost.
Right.
Right,
But
right.
they're not under as much pressure because they're doing 10. You know, somebody's doing 10, and they don't do any time in between the acts. They just go, you know, act number 1, and they don't do
right.
all the intros. They just get it rolling. You know, get out of
Right.
the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we host the World Series of Comedy here at Mccurdy's.
Right. I've never been to anything they do, but it seems like a.
I love it. I love it because I'm competing in it this year. I didn't compete in it before, but I love it because you just get to see so many different comics from
Right.
all over the.
Well, that was
country.
that was the other great thing is to hang out with a bunch of comedians, and I always found that you know, like I just worked the Key West Comedy Club. Tommy Dustin is one of the guys that runs
Yeah.
that. He's a Boston guy, and he used to always make such great friends over the years. and contacts because he had a spare room in Boston. And so acts would come in, and he'd let him crash at his house.
Oh wow!
And and he did a funny thing. He used to handicap the thing. It wasn't part of the festival, but he would have people bet. You throw in $5, and you try to pick
The winner?
the winner, like the brackets. The brackets. Yeah.
Like college basketball?
And he used to make me laugh because I'd see him before, for day one. He'd be like hawking. All the comedians are signing up. They're getting their information, welcome kit, and he's going, hey. You in the contest? Hey, I do a thing. It's brackets. You want to get on? You want $5? You buy it, and it made it funny because everybody was like, they had their little sheet,
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's like, we should make a part of the festival. I was like, nah, I don't want to be that guy, like,
break somebody's legs.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Somebody trying to get that money. I'm not
If
going to
you're like
laugh
a random guy, you could do that. But if you're like the festival, that's trouble.
It looks weird, yeah. Some funny stuff.
I think the competition here that they do every year is pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real awesome. I got in it one time, and I did real well. I did real well, but I was like you said, I was in the room with some comedians that been in it like 15, 20 years. You know what I
the
mean?
funny thing I learned early on in Boston is these guys that are headliners sometimes, especially if they work in markets where it's not a lot of showcase sets, they don't have that 5-minute set honed down the way that an act out of New York or L.A., New York, they have that sprinting TV set that they've
they're
honed.
shorter sets and everything.
And I think Boston, that's one thing that the festival changed in Boston is everyone's developed that 5-minute
Crusher 5
set.
minutes.
Yeah, the Crusher TV set.
Yeah.
You gotta have it.
You
gotta have it.
It's like you gotta know how to sprint. You gotta know how to, find your own pace and do the 45-minute set to make money.
Well, yeah,
so you gotta learn both skills.
Yeah, that's what Les always taught, was just like start with your 5 minutes. Like,
right.
Just get, because that's where you're gonna get most time anyway when you're starting out.
Right. Correct.
I'm gonna give you more than 5 minutes. Sometimes they give you 3 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what he always focused on. That's how I started too. I just try to hone down, make
Sure.
a solid tight 5 minutes, and then once from there, I went to 7 minutes. You
Correct.
know what I mean? And
right. Yeah. That's what you do.
slowly, don't try to like bite off way more than you can chew.
It's like, you just
Yeah.
make your stew. Add a little in. Add a
Yeah.
little in.
Yeah,
burn off the horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop trying to cook for an army. You know what I mean? Like, just
Oh yeah.
make a plate for yourself first, and we'll start from there and continue. But I'm always like hosting the open mics here and stuff, and I see people come in, and like you can tell that they think that they have 3 hours, right? And then they can't even have a consistent 5-minute set though. Like, and they always want to try something new. They always want to, which is great for an open mic. I feel like you should be testing out new material.
Yeah,
but
that's the place to do it.
But at a club open mic, I feel like you should probably come prepared with your 5 minutes, especially if you've never been there before. And like, I'll see somebody.
Well,
come
if Les is in the room, you're trying to get work.
Exactly. So bring your best. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's hard, but I always try to tell people that I'm like, yeah, you want to build 5 minutes at a time. I think 5, 7, 10. You know what I mean? Just slowly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, I mean, that's what worked for me, and I'm only 2 years in. You know what I mean? But that's what I've discovered.
Yeah, that's where I started from. Piece by piece, just keep adding on, and then the more time that you get, the better off you are. So
Right.
Yeah, it's I just see so many people trying to like every day is like a new bit that like they don't even.
I've known guys over the years. There's a guy in Boston that had been doing it for 20 years, 15, 20 years. And every single time he went on stage, he tried a different 5 or 7 minute set, and he never got better. And I'd say, hey man, that bit you got that one. That did really well. Yeah, it did really well, right? He goes, so do it tomorrow.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I just like to try to do different stuff every day. I go, yeah, but and honestly, he was bombing more than he was doing well.
Right.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah,
you tried
exactly.
a completely new set every time you went on stage.
Yeah.
And it was a weird thing. His.
As I've been building, I have come to less place numerous of times. And as I've been building, people, that have seen me come in before they seen me perform, when they see me out there, they'll be like, man, it seems like you're getting better and better. And and I'm just adding on to everything that I already know. You know what I mean? I'm just adding on
when I started out, I always remember this. Like, we all made the mistake. Like, you get on an open mic, and then you invite everyone you know,
Yep.
and you're horrible.
Yeah.
You're horrible. You don't know you're horrible,
So
but
discouraging.
you are.
Yeah.
And then to this day, I got relatives that still go, they pay you to do comedy? Really? And you're like, yeah, they do. And you're like, huh? Because I saw you that one time. Yeah, you saw me 25 years ago.
Exactly.
I've improved since the first day I did comedy. You know?
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that I was under, was that you had to be some sort of killer right off the gate. Like, you just had to, as soon as you took the first time you ever went on stage, you crushed it.
No.
And then from then on, you just kept crushing it.
Right.
Nothing could ever stop you. And I was like, that is just so far from the truth.
Correct.
It's so far from the truth. And then you know what? The people that I've seen people go up for the first time ever, and they have a great set. They hit like something on accident. You know, they hit a little bit of magic on accident. And then it's like, I think that can actually be worse because they think that they're good. Now they think
Well, also,
that
like, the
I don't have to
other
work.
side of that coin is if you bring all your friends and family, everybody from work, they kind of clap and support you a lot more.
It's
Than
inflated.
the first, like you go, I can do this, and then like the second or third set, nobody knows you, and it's like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst when like
Take a beating.
you can like mistake those laughs. I think when like they're laughing at you,
Right.
they're not really laughing with you. Like they don't.
Right.
Like your points aren't really striking, but they're laughing at how badly you're doing up there.
Well, you guys know the laugh ears thing, right? Somebody has laugh ears. You ever heard that phrase?
No.
So laugh ears is you're doing comedy and one person laughs in the back and you go, oh, they like me.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you hear,
Yeah.
you seek out, you're hearing something that isn't really there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it's almost like being tone deaf. If you're a musician, you're like, oh, this is going great. It's like, no, it's not going great.
No, it's
And if
terrible.
you can't learn, if you can't have those ears, those critical ears,
Yeah.
and where you go, oh, I don't like the way this bit worked. I either have to change it or lose it.
Right.
Or something has to change there.
Something, yeah.
If you come off every time thinking, wow, I killed him. Really, because I was just watching you.
Yeah.
And that was killing for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Different definitions of killing. That's another thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I don't see some comedians.
You know, you see the good comedians come off, and I'm interrupting you again. Go ahead. Say
No,
what
you're
you're
good.
gonna
You're
say.
good. You're good.
You know, the good comedians, you'll see them come off, and they'll crush, and they'll go, yeah, but I did this new joke, like halfway through, and I can't make it work.
Yeah.
Like they're still being a scientist. They're still
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
This is the new bit I'm working on. Yeah. That thing works all the time.
Right.
So we're just setting that aside.
Exactly.
But this thing I'm working on that's new to me, that's what my passion is at. That's where I'm.
Staying humble, I think. Like,
Yeah.
It's like being realistic.
Yeah.
I've heard about that too. Like my buddy just moved out to California. He's trying to run it with the big dogs, and he's like, I just watched Bill Burr get off stage, like absolutely destroyed the room.
Right.
And I'm like, man, you were hilarious. And he's like, nah, it fucking sucked. And it's like,
Yeah.
like what? What do you mean that sucked? Like if that sucked, what am I supposed to do with my life? You know what I mean?
right.
Like that's crazy. So
I have actually seen some comedians, and they get up there, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? And they don't hear it, they don't feel it, they don't see it. I'm talking about they just going on about their business, yapping. I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
would be trying to come down. You know what I mean? They're doing their set. They're in their set. How you doing, Pam?
Pamela Mccurdy's joining us.
Nice of you to join us, Pam.
Lovely Pam.
Pam's ears must have been burning today because I went to a Rotary Club meeting and they were giving you high praise for your help in fundraising
Oh,
in Sarasota.
that was very nice.
Yeah,
we do a
you'd
lot of
MC for
fundraising
some of the stuff they do there, and
Yeah. I'm the one that works for free.
yeah,
Is Les available? Well, you want free? That's me.
let's talk about your budget first, then we'll see if Les is available.
That's right.
He's got to want to do it more than golf.
That's right. Oh Lord.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
It's hard to beat out.
It's hard to beat
these
golf.
days.
That's right.
Lord, I know.
Yeah, Pam is huge in the community, man. She's
Yeah.
huge in the community.
Yeah,
Everybody talks about Pam, you know. See her on all the TVs. You know, she's huge, man. She's huge.
Is it
Yeah.
good talk?
Yeah, it's good talk. It's really
Never heard
good.
a bad
I'm
word.
getting older. It's nice to hear, that they're still talking about you.
Still talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
true.
So what's going on, McCue?
nothing.
Seen
I'm.
you since the Boston Comedy Festival.
I know you guys were great. This is my secret weapon. Is Pam and Les come up and
Yeah.
because they do this all the time.
Right.
The business end of it, which
Yeah.
I gotta go. Hey, throw me a line here. I don't know. After 20 years, I still don't know what I'm doing.
No, you guys, I thought it was really cool. I love the theater that you
There's
have
a
the finals in.
Lewis Black was there's a producer that always wants to get Lewis, and Lewis doesn't get along with him.
Oh,
And he comes to do the festival because we're friends. And he says, do you know how much money Jim McCue is making off of you, Lewis? And Lewis goes, Jim McCue couldn't make money with a wheelbarrow full of money. You idiot.
you idiot.
Oh, that's funny.
No, but we get, we have, who do we have last year? We had Gary Gallman, and we had
gave him an
Emo
award.
Phillips, and
I missed Emo.
oh yeah,
Okay.
Emo comes every year.
Okay.
If you guys come back, Emo is like the best. If you want to see a joke writer,
Yeah.
my goodness, that guy.
Really?
Oh yeah, look him up online.
He
Emo Phillips is one of the best joke
judges,
writers.
wasn't he? We were at one of the satellite, you did it in a small studio theater space. We judged.
Yeah, we got the
there.
Rockwells. Well,
Yeah.
we move it around. We try to keep a lot of it in Somerville,
there in
Davis
the
Square. It's like,
college
for those
campus.
if you're not from Boston, it's the next town over from Cambridge, so
very
it's
cool.
yeah, it's
It's
really
just-
kind of cool hipster area, and
And for us Sarasotans that don't even get to see age, let alone color in this city,
Uh-huh.
it was
Yeah.
so freaking cool
Yeah.
to be up there amongst all of it. It was just,
Yeah.
it was great. It was refreshing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really was.
yeah, we're working on this year already, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a meeting with you and Les
Yeah, let's do it.
because
Now you're moving it to November.
yeah, we moved it to November, 13 through 16. Me and my sister Helen, who helps me run everything.
Yeah, she's awesome.
wow, yeah.
We had a little bit of, because she wanted it in September because she wanted the nicer weather, but I'm like, nicer weather isn't the best thing for selling comedy tickets.
Yeah.
I want everyone to
Right.
be cabin fever looking for something to do.
That's a good point.
And in Boston, when it gets nice out, nobody goes indoors. So,
Yeah.
although we did very good in September, I just,
Yeah.
we had it in November for years, and I was like, it always worked. Like,
Yeah. I think you're right, especially up north. That's kind of
Yeah.
one of those things you go, well, if
yeah, they
you're
get
gonna be inside,
X
you're gonna
amount
have
of time
to-
they can be outside.
Let's
So,
get our funny on.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's just not a good time for us, Jim.
Oh, no. Are you not coming? Or you don't want to go? It's too cold for you.
Yeah, we're old.
Oh.
Sorry, but
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, that's a tragedy.
I gotta put panties on now. Oh my god. No. But yeah, it's
We'll have to get you a Boston County Festival hoodie or something.
yeah, we'll get a little. We got a new hoodies coming in for Mccurdys
We
now.
do,
That's
right?
gonna be our new merch.
New merch.
Yeah,
baby.
okay.
Hoodies and some new shirts.
We're gonna
and-
sell them in July.
Yes. I'm telling you. The
Well,
reason I
people here
bought-
are crazy. It gets 60 degrees. They're complaining about the cold.
Oh my God! It was what Les goes off on them on stage. I swear to God, they'll be in here. It'll be 71 degrees, and they'll be like, "We're freezing, Les." And he's like, "Stop it."
Yeah.
They want the heat.
They're all on blood thinners. They're all on Coumadin. You can sit back down, man. That's true, though. They are all on Coumadin. That and what's our biggest complaint? The seats are too hard.
Yeah.
The seats are too hard.
Way too hard. We
Yeah.
go bring a pillow. Bring
Yeah.
your little hemorrhoid blow up thing. You
Oh,
know,
my
bring your
goodness.
donut. We're fine with that.
Wow.
I'll bring donut. And
Yeah.
they show up with a little, Bichon Silky.
They want their big, comfortable, vibrating chair with
Yeah.
remote and,
Are you
and
kidding?
back massage.
Remember
That's
that
exactly
lady-
right.
remember-
They want a
Yeah.
big
Heated.
You know what I'm
fat-
talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean,
my
I swear to
God,
God,
that
Jim.
Oh,
they,
yeah,
they
my parents-
complain about that for
yeah,
real.
you go to see my parents' house. They have two big, I don't know, like it's the RV version of a chair. It's got they can't. If someone knocks on the door, you better wait 5 minutes. They got to lower it. They got to get out of it. They got to, kind of hobble over to the door.
Does it massage? Does it? Is
Oh
it
yeah, the massage. They got a remote for it, which
Yeah.
they don't
Oh,
even know how to run. I don't
yeah.
believe.
But you get in it sometimes and like, this is cool.
Yeah, but I don't got the time to get in and out of that chair. I got things to do.
My brother-in-law, we've got a massage chair at the house that we've had for 20 years, and it does. It's the basics, right?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law's got one that's fucking insane. It when you get into it, it encases
Right,
you.
right.
Right? You been your arms and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
And then it tilts you up to zero
Right.
gravity.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. We're the most pampered
Oh
fucking
yeah.
people.
Bunch of softies. No, it's
We're literally putting ourselves into pods. You're gonna put the thing over your
Yes.
face, and
Yes.
like it's over.
Yeah.
Like potato people.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody need anything? Coffee?
I'm gonna get a coffee at some point, but
Pam, I like your outfit. You're really kind of you're kind of June Cleaver-ish this evening. You know what? I'll have a Sam Adams because all I got to do is bring Jim up. I think that's all I got
I
to
was
do.
just telling Pam what a big hit she is. I went to a Rotary meeting here in Sarasota, and she does a lot of fun
Yes.
hosting for them.
Yes.
And of course, you're well known as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to the place where now she's like kind of.
She's the lead dog over
Yeah,
there.
she's
yeah,
got because you know that there's that. Did you do that television show, The Suncoast View, the last time?
I
you
think
were
so,
here?
yeah.
I like you did too.
Yeah.
And you know we, the first time I went on, it's been on now for 3 or 4 seasons. It's just local talk, right? But so they have us on the guest host every once in a while, and it started with me going on with the club and a comic or something, and then they were like, "Hey, Les, would you be in the guest host?" I said, yeah. So then they were like, "Hey, would you like to bring Pam on?" I think it was our anniversary or something like that. And so they brought Pam on. Well, he just fell in love with Pam.
Of course.
So then they start. So she asked her, she wants to guest host. And then all of a sudden, guess who doesn't get calls for guest hosting anymore? Pam.
She bumped you.
Yeah, she bumped my ass. She bumped me. And when they call me, it's me and her as a couple.
So you can't get on without her now. That's gonna keep the marriage together.
I have to have a chaperone, obviously. Obviously, I'm not alone. Just they got to put Pam on.
She's the one that's there for the culture segment.
Exactly.
And the funny, here's Les. She's funny too, though. But she has an improv background and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, Pam has a master's degree in theater from Florida State. She was like
all right.
cum laude graduate,
Wow.
full scholarship.
She's got actual training.
She was the fucking one that should be doing this shit, not
Right.
me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We actually, as a matter of fact, when
We got into the arts with a pocket full of dick jokes.
Yes. And very willing to do them. Very willing.
Yeah, we're like, you could have this job and not wake up in the morning.
Well, I mean, no big deal.
Yes or no?
I do, but you don't have to run go get a glass.
It's just more calories burned, baby.
Run.
Do you know what would happen to you if you were on the Sarasota TV show and you sent Pam out to get a beer? You'd be run out of this town. He sent his wife out.
I didn't. She offered.
She offered.
Look, I'm going to tell you this
She
right
offered.
now. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah.
Guys,
We're alone now. No one's listening.
this shit don't happen at home. There's never a time I'm sitting on the couch where Pam walks in and goes, "Honey, can I get you a beer?" No. Never. Zero. If I ask and she's in the kitchen heading this way, that could happen.
You know, that's across the board. I think it's unanimous. I got the chance to meet Jonathan Winters. We're giving an award like first or second year, and he's sitting. I'm hanging out with him. He says, "Does your wife think you're funny?" I go, "Well, not like what I do on stage." He goes, "No, not at all, right?" I go, "No."
And you know the other
He
thing.
goes, "My wife is completely unimpressed with what I do."
Oh yeah. And
That's
I
Jonathan
tell
Winters.
comics this. I go, have you ever in your life tried a bit on your wife?
Yeah, forget about it.
Run it by her.
Right.
I never have.
No, bad idea.
Never. No. You know, she'll just look at you like
Disappointed.
Really? Really?
Who did I marry?
Exactly.
What was I thinking?
Could you go get a fucking job? Jesus. Really? That's what you did all day today? Thought of that? That's what you did. So clever.
That's all you had on your to-do list was to pull
was
that together.
And you're so proud of it. You seem so incredibly proud of that. Oh, God.
That's so true.
I
It's
know.
funny.
Oh, when I teach my comedy class, I go, do not run your bits by your wife or your husband.
If you want to keep them.
No.
It's ridiculous. They don't give a shit. They don't, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, they'll tell you, do the story. Do the
There
one
was
where we went
a
to-
woman at the Rotary class. Now,
They always try to
there's so many
influence your
people in this
set.
community that have taken this course. She says the best thing on her resume is your comedy course, because when she went in for jobs, they'd say, "What's this?" It was a icebreaker.
Oh, nice.
And she said, and she took it a long time ago. She said, it was best 150 I ever spent. I said, well, that's probably gone up. 150 is probably 1970. Oh yeah, that's 1976 prices.
And I've had this several times from from people who have very accomplished lives. And
Right.
this is an example, and I've had this more. This was this past year, several classes ago, but a lady took it. I knew she was an attorney. You know, I knew that. She's a retired attorney. So she comes up to me after the last class where you're preparing. This is your final preparation before
Right.
you go on stage. And she goes, Les, I'm an attorney. She goes, I have 2 master's degrees. She goes, I was made a district court judge, and I think she was on the Supreme Court for Michigan or Minnesota, their state Supreme Court. All of that. She goes, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. She goes, with hands down, the most demanding. She goes, and she goes, I didn't think that when I came and took this course,
Right.
that it would be this incredibly
Right.
stressful. And what they don't realize is the structure. They don't realize that we're structured. They think, because when you
Right.
just listen to comics, we look so unstructured.
Right.
You know, and
And the people that are good at this, it looks so easy.
it looks like you're chatting. Well, you make it look like it.
Yeah.
I mean, pros make it look just like a professional golfer. It makes that swing look really
Yeah, they
easy.
all-
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we all know what the difference. But what I always tell any comedy fan, I go to a club on a 2-show night and watch both shows.
Right.
Watch both shows, and then to see that the second show that both of those comics, or all 3 of them, will have very little difference.
Right.
Even in those points where you go, that was such a nuance. How did that? That had to be in the moment. That had the way it happened. There's no way that could recreate itself.
Right.
I mean, we had a guy here. I don't know if you know Eric Meyer.
I don't.
Eric's just a manic on stage. He's just manic. He's like a guy on Adderall and Coke, and
Right.
you know, I mean, he's just all over the place, like a cartoon character. And I know my class, they had watched him. They said, we watched him in the first show, and they all went, there's no fucking way that maniac could do that same maniac show.
Right.
And they go, by God, even his physicalizations were almost on cue.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's what people don't get.
Right.
Is the structure.
Well,
You know.
I remember Chris Rock released a special years back, and it was a tour, and they just kept cutting to different nights. So
yeah.
he was wearing a different suit in every single shot. So the same bit, and they would transfer it to the next theater that he was in, wearing a different suit, and he's in the exact same position, the exact same foothold, the same like facial features. It's like it's down to a science, and like that was the first time I realized that it's super structured. I was like, holy shit, he looks the exact same. Like he's in the same position. Like they were cutting it, and it was seamless. It was different suit, you know, but the same exact stance. You know what I mean? It was
Once
perfect.
you get something to work a certain way, you ain't gonna fuck with it.
No,
Well, like, you know,
Much.
no,
you know,
no.
the guys who are the top pitchers, they're not. I'm going to try this a different way.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
You know, I'm going to do the fastball different tonight.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Exactly. And back to a golf analogy.
Right.
Golf swings are very different from one. I mean, there's a basic fundamentals of golf, and they'll say that most golfers, no matter what they do from the top of their backswing until they finish, that impact area that's like a foot behind the ball, they all end up in about the same spot somehow. But
yeah.
they all, a lot of them get there in a wide variety of ways.
Right.
And you don't take somebody who's a pro and go, because like Jim Furyk has a very unorthodox, Bubba Watson, self-taught. Arnold Palmer had a very you wouldn't go to him and go, man, you're not doing
This right. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's working. So
Whatever it's doing that's getting you in the big show, keep doing it.
Yeah, it's right. It's working. It's working. That's exactly right.
yeah, that's such an accurate game. I feel like with golf, it's just like you said, it's just micro adjustments over your whole career to get that perfect swing or
Am I
whatever
allowed
works
to
for
duck
you.
over and get a coffee before
You do
I
whatever
go?
you want.
Yeah,
I get
man.
my brain
You do-
working. I got to go on a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, go prepare.
Yeah.
That's right. So, well, I played today, and you know, it's like, and I didn't have a great score today at all. I shot in the high 80s, which is 5 or 6 strokes worse than I would want to shoot. I usually like to be in the low 80s, and breaking 80 is a really good day for me, which I do that maybe every 10th time I play or something. But you know, the thing is, with golf, and this can be this way with anything, it's like you go up and do a set, okay, and you have a nice set, you have a good set, but like 3 of your bits tanked.
Right.
And after the show, somebody goes, how'd your set go? And you go, man, the fucking closer didn't work. And I know there was a guy that I know who's a teaching pro, and he said he was doing the same thing. He would come in from golf, and his wife would go, how'd you do today? And he goes, I totally blew up a par 3 on 16, made a triple bogey, and I shanked one over there. And what'd you shoot? Oh, 78. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Because he's wanting to shoot he's a club pro, so he wants to shoot even par. But still, and yet, his wife told him after a period of time, he was telling me this, she goes, I'm tired of you coming into this house after you've had a beautiful day of playing golf.
Right.
Whatever happened.
Right.
And complain about it. She goes, from now on, when you walk in this house and I ask you, how was your day on the golf course, I want you to tell me the 4 best things that happened that day.
Right.
First off, he goes, I can't tell you how that changed my whole approach to the sport, how it changes my evening, because what happens is when I go home, how did you do today? And I there's part of me that wants to go right to the negative. He said.
Right.
But then I go, well, I birdied 3 holes, and one of them was just 3 feet from a hole in one, and I hit a 330-yard drive, one of my longest drives. And he goes, after I've said that 4 things, he goes, you know what happens is, I want to start telling more of the good shit I did that day. I don't want to stop at 4. I want to start really talking about
That's a good life lesson.
Well, Jack Nicklaus, they say Jack Nicklaus never hit a bad shot. Well, yeah. Yeah. They say Jack Nicklaus never hit a bad shot because he doesn't remember him.
Right.
He lets him go right. Why remember?
Don't focus on the negative. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I saw something about athletes where they were saying one of the things that one of the coaches was saying, like, you got to get across the athlete is if they make a mistake, let it go immediately.
yes,
We'll talk about it next week.
right.
You got to worry about right now. The game's on.
That's right.
And if you stop to dwell on, I can't believe I dropped that ball, you're of no use to anyone.
You're going to drop another ball,
Right, because you can't.
Because it's in your head.
You're programming yourself
Well,
to.
that's exactly right.
You see that with young quarterbacks when they throw an interception. Their whole game goes out the window.
Oh yeah.
Because they can't stop focusing. They're so afraid of throwing another interception.
Well,
And
yeah.
that's a
They can't
really
fucking
powerful
do it.
thing. And I'm not saying everyone can do that, but
There's that whole series of Zen of golf, Zen of tennis. There's these whole Zen.
Oh,
where
really?
They give you a lesson in the sport that's attached to a Zen lesson. And one of the things was that, what you're talking about, if you only focus on when you do something, when you make a mistake, what you want to do with the mistake is that you want to take a moment to go, okay, what happened there? Just what happened. I didn't turn I didn't do that. I didn't deliver. Okay, cool. And you've made that, and then from that point on, you're on to doing the best you can with the next thing. And then whenever you do something good, they said, your strongest memories are wrapped around strongest emotional response to the memory. So if you're incredibly happy, like off the charts happy, or you're severely depressed, those are the memories that really stick with you. It's a way the chemicals are
the
work in your
extremes.
brain. But it's the way it imprints. So it's like when negative things happen, it's not like you just totally blow them off.
No.
Learn from them, but then move on. But they're saying but try not to let them, get you into a super emotional place if you can. But what people don't do is they do something good, and it's almost like it's cocky, to really celebrate when
Yes.
you do something. We're,
Yes.
we're taught that. It's
Right.
like it's cocky.
Yeah, I agree.
And they talk about when Tiger, all through his heyday, whenever he did something good, he fist pumps, he yells, he. Oh, I gotta go.
Oh, back to work. All right.
All
so
right.
am I going to talk through my intro and then run up there?
Oh
or
no,
how we
man!
gonna
You
do
just
this?
get ready, man. Chug that coffee. get ready for your set. Oh, Geno, you got him,
Hey,
man.
Sound like you're doing good.
Oh yeah, nice crowd. Nice crowd.
Yeah,
crowd.
nice.
The dick thing to do when a comedian comes off after killing, you go, "Did you go on yet?" We used to always do that, boss. That, like,
I couldn't hear him out
they
there.
just crush, and you
Yeah.
go, and they come off like kind of walking, like a little swagger. You go, "Did you go on yet?" And it just deflates them.
Oh yeah, air just drains right out of them, right?
Oh, that's a funny one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he going to get a drink.
Yeah.
Les don't call him on the stage. He was going to get a drink, and you had them called.
Yeah, you forgot.
I know. We've had that happen a couple times when we're back here. It's like, shit, I don't want to go perform. I want to just sit and talk on the phone.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
This
man.
is fun. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a, and I think that's a big deal. We were just talking about how when you do something really, it's so easy to dwell on the mistakes you make in your life. You know what I mean? And I gave the analogy of a buddy of mine, very good golf pro.
Right.
And he would come home and his wife would go, "How'd you play today?" Well, some bitch shot a 77. I mean, to the average golfer, an amazing day. Now, he's a pro, so he won't. But the first thing out of his mouth would be, double bogeyed this hole, did that, I shanked one off. It would just be, he would just be listing off the worst shit he did that day.
Right.
And finally, his wife told him, she goes, "From now on, I'm tired of you coming in and complaining about a day of golf, for God's sakes. It's a day of golf. Are you shitting me and you're complaining about that?"
That's right.
He's like, so she said, "From now on, when you come home after golf and I ask you, how was your day, I want you to tell me the 4 best things you did today." And he goes, "Man, it just turned my whole attitude around." And not only, he goes, "Once you said the 4 great things you did today, you wanted to say all the good things you did that day."
Right.
Yeah.
And it reinforces, that's what reinforces in your brain. So now, the next time you go play golf, you're like, it's just kind of a little thing in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, last time I played, I had a really great day.
Right.
Rather than last time I played, I hit 5 fucked up shots, and I hope I don't hit 5 fucked up shots today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
like, because as soon as you tell yourself that, you're going to hit 5 fucked up shots.
Right.
You just told yourself you're going
Right.
to do it,
Yeah.
And it's amazing how your brain, they say golf is one of those that you're on a tee box and there's water to the right. Now, your beginning golfer is going to sit there and go, "Whatever I do not hit it in the water."
Right,
You
right.
just told yourself to hit it in the water.
Right.
That's exactly what you told yourself.
Right.
Rather than walking up to the tee box, looking straight down the fairway, picking the target that you want to hit it to, and going, "Nail that son of a bitch right down there to that 150 marker," or whatever. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's
It's
where
like
I'm
it's like
hitting.
a basketball player going, "Don't hit the back of the rim."
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
You're going to hit the
You're hitting the back of the
rim.
fucking rim.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
focused on it. It's
rather
weird.
than just focused on the center of the goal and letting it fly.
Right.
And just with
like when you're-
confidence and.
Yeah. Like
Bingo.
when you're playing pool and you're like, "Don't scratch the 8 ball."
Of course.
And you're like, "Fuck, I just scratched the 8 ball."
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Don't even think about it. Yeah.
It's incredible how your mind has so much control over
Your
what
body.
your body does.
Yeah.
And when you get negative thoughts in there, man, it just follows suit. you
Yeah.
know.
That would-
And the mind is a strong thing, especially in sports. I witnessed the strength of that this past Sunday. I have a AAU team. That's on my phone.
Oh, is that your phone?
Yeah. I have an AAU team. Thanks.
You're
to
very
Les.
popular, by the way.
Yeah.
That thing's binging like
Yeah.
nuts.
I try to put it on. I try to turn it off when I go home because my wife would be like, "Who is that?" You know what I mean? But thanks to Les and Pam, you know, they did something for me and my family that was completely incredible, you know. And we have a AAU team, basketball, 10th grade boys, and I witnessed the strength of the mind this Sunday. We was up in Walt Disney World.
Oh, cool.
And we was playing at ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Oh wow.
And we had went through all the way. We was 4-0. So we met this other team that was 4-0.
4-0, right?
And our fourth game finished before them, so we went down. We were watching them, and I'm listening to my boys. They like, oh man, they can shoot, they can do this. So my mind's saying they're defeating themselves. You know what I mean? Because they're seeing what they can do good. They're not realizing I'm supposed to be focused on how I can stop that. You know what I mean? So make a long story short,
Yeah.
they win that game, so it's now both of the undefeated teams meet each other in the championship. So we're playing against them, and sure indeed, you know, we pull out 7-0. And then it's like, once we got to that 7-0, it's like their mind said, oh, we can win this game. So let's get out of what we're doing to be winning, and let's start playing hero ball. So their mind is telling them, oh, okay, now we can do more because we can win this game. Instead of saying follow the plan.
Right,
you know,
right,
if you
right,
follow
right.
the plan, you follow the system, you follow the process, this is what got you here. You know what I mean? So their mind is telling them, if you do more, we're going to win this championship game, this big championship game.
Right.
Lo and behold, we went down by 16 points.
Wow.
We went down by 16 points at halftime. And I got them on the sideline. And I was like, listen to this scenario. I said, when you guys was following the plan, the system that we've been running, that we've been working, say you guys was winning. I say, once you guys started playing hero ball, we're down by 16 points.
Yeah.
I say, now think about this. This is the difference between pro athletes and good athletes.
Yeah.
I say pro athletes know how to adjust. Pro athletes know how to follow the system, trust the system,
Yeah.
and win within the system.
So when you say hero ball, that's when they break apart and start playing more as individuals, not as a team.
Start
correct?
playing more selfish ball.
Right,
That's what
right.
I call hero ball. That's what I
Right.
always say.
Yeah,
to my
everybody's trying to be a
boys.
hero.
Right.
I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I said, trust the system, trust what we're doing, and trust me, we're going to win this game or we're going to be close at the end. I said, we down by 16. I said, but 2 points at a time. I say, trust each other. Play ball together like you've been doing. It got us here. Lo and behold, we win the game 69-60.
Wow.
The championship game.
Wow.
And the moral
Man, that's a big scoring game for
right
10th graders.
for 10th grade.
Yeah,
and the
man.
moral of the story is, when your mind tells you that if you follow the system, you're winning, your mind can go off and on in an instant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Their mind went off to where they were winning, and their mind was like, oh, I could do more.
You can take a break. Yeah.
So now let me get out of the system. Let me shoot the ball more. Let me dribble more. They don't know that the mind is really failing them right now. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So put your mind back on, let me use the team. Let me trust the system. Let me trust everything I did.
Sure.
Lo and behold, we raised the trophy at the end of a
Nice.
16-point turnaround, and we won by 9.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So the
You're
mind,
a good coach.
the mind is a strong thing in life. You know what I mean?
Very,
you have to,
very,
even
yeah.
if you think you got the mind trained, the mind can also steer you away from what you really want to do.
Oh, of
like,
course.
Like the guy playing golf, or like when you're playing golf. If you say, man, I don't want to hit this pond. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Once you put that in your mind, guess what? You're trying not to hit the pond. You're forgetting about the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what's going to happen? You're going to hit the pond.
Yeah.
You know, but if your mind's saying, man, forget that pond, let me keep doing what I do.
Sure. Stay within your fundamentals. That you know, that's the thing is you start trying to do too much.
Too much.
I mean, we do that in golf. We do that all the time. You know, one of the biggest things that are a mistake I'll see people make, and I've had to do too, is that you're playing with 3 other people, right? And every one of those, maybe you're the last one to hit your drive, right? The other 3 all pipe one right down the middle, 250, 270, maybe 300 yards. Maybe you got a young guy who can, and immediately you go away from the fundamentals of your game and you go, I need to hit this ball further than I normally do.
Right.
Well, guess what? You can't do that.
It's an unrealistic goal.
You can't do that.
Yep.
It's like I remember I had a golf coach, and I was hitting my drives great. He got me hitting my drives great and hitting them. I know you're popular, and you want me to grab it?
Yeah, I gotta turn that off. How did y'all stand that noise? Thank you.
But he taught me some things that gave me the most distance. I mean, I went from hitting drives 220 to 230, 240 at the most, where all of a sudden I'm averaging 250, 260, and every once in a while, usually at least once or twice around, I'm hitting a drive out there 275, 280, every once in a while 290.
Nice.
And so, but what happens is my mind goes to, well, after a few rounds of golf, and you go, I've done that every round a couple times. Well, shit, I should hit every drive 280 yards. Well, it all began to come apart.
Right.
And for 2 years, I was driving the ball great. And then towards the end of that second year, it just started to come apart. So I go to my lesson, and Joe Mann, I love Joe. He was a man of few words. He watched me hit some drives and He saw the thing. So I finished. I'd hit a few squirrely ones, and I'm like, "Yep, that's what's happening, Joe." And I said, "What am I doing?" He goes, "You're trying too hard." And I go, "Well, then what do I need to do?"
Right,
he goes, "Quit trying so hard." And I go, "Is that my fucking lesson? Is that what I paid you? I paid you to. I want you to change. I want you to do. Show me something." He goes, "Quit trying." He goes, "Look, Les, when the times that you hit a drive 10, 20 yards, maybe 30 yards further than normal, were you trying to?" I go, "Ever?" I went, "No." He goes, "Of course not. You just turned your body the right way. Everything kind of clicked, so you created more club head speed. You hit the ball right and square in the center of the club. The timing was just really good. Boom.
Yeah.
It just took off." And he goes, "Great." He goes, "And accept that and enjoy it." He goes, "As soon as you start trying to do that, you're going to be all over the place." And that's that hero ball. You go. They come out of their fundamentals, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh, we're behind 15 points.
Right.
I need to start throwing up threes."
Yeah.
Well, motherfucker, how many threes did you make the last game? 2?
Yeah.
You think you're going to make 12 now all of
Yeah.
a
That's
sudden?
right.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's right.
But it is. It's like you start pressing. And you're exactly right. That happens in every
Level.
profession, in all walks of life. People start pushing, in a way that is, it's unrealistic. You get it in your head, I need to do this.
Right.
And there's kind of a part of you that's competitive nature.
That's that competitive nature.
I get that. There's a positive there, but on the other hand, you're falling out of your fundamentals,
Right.
and it's not going to go well.
No.
It's not going to go well.
It
at
never
all.
does, as far as that goes.
Every once in a while, I feel like you do have those freaks, though, that can, like, if they need to put the ball in the end zone in 2 plays, they'll fucking put the ball in the end zone in 2 plays. Like,
Well, but those are pros.
And those guys, believe it or not, they're just trusting the same system that got them there.
And their belief is
You
so
know what I
strong.
mean? It's so strong. So
Yeah.
it's not nothing that they're doing we think is out of the ordinary.
Right,
But
right.
they're doing what they normally do. They
Right.
practice that. You know
But
what
you
I
know
mean?
what? When
in
they
their wheelhouse, yeah.
When they, I think, well, I was going to say, when it's a quarterback throwing to a receiver, half that's the receiver.
For sure.
In other words, he goes, I'm going to put it in the right place, but I trust
Him to
that
catch that
guy can get there, and
Right.
he can get it. Now, in basketball, golf, things like that, where it's you. It's just you, and you are playing as a team in basketball. But still, when you're taking the shot, it's you.
It's
It's
you.
you.
Well, you know what? I want to say that, but there's still a part of, it's you throwing it, putting it up there, but you also realize I've got teammates under that basket
Trying to get that ball
that
back.
can get the rebound, that can tip it in, that can, I'm putting it up there in a way that the whole team can make something else happen.
Yeah.
But
One thing I used during the game, I had called a timeout. I said, when you coming down with the ball and you going down court, I said, you're dribbling from one end of the court to the other end of the court. I said, now pay attention that if you grab that rebound, you throw it to the first man that's farther up the court, and he throw it to the other man that's up the court. I said that ball got down to the other end of the court 3 seconds faster than you getting it from one end to the other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I said that's the difference of a fast break.
Right.
You know what I mean? You may get down there, you may score, but if you get the ball, throw it to this man throw it to that man, you make that basket. Now you got a man already back to play defense. So those types of scenarios is the type, like you were saying earlier, that for the collapse of the
Lightning. Yeah.
Someone on that staff, you know what I mean, should have been like, guys, look, we need to do this. Because once they fell behind that first game, they was in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Because they've been winning all season.
Started panicking, it looked
And
like.
then they lose that second game. Guess what? Now the hero ball setting in.
Yeah.
Somebody should have been there to say, guys, look, let's get back to what we've been doing all season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what got us to this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it got so bad to look at the lopsided win even in the fourth game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, a buddy of mine was saying that in watching it was like they got so focused on scoring, they got so focused on offense,
No
that their defense fell
apart.
completely apart.
Happens all the time, man.
Yeah. Interesting.
So crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's like you said, all facets of life. Like when we hosted the competition last year here, the open mic competition.
Yeah.
I remember I saw. I'm not gonna name names, but he came in. He had a good set, really good set. Got him to the finals, and then he saw the people that were at the finals, and he panicked. And what did he do? He threw out the set that got him there, and he tried to do a whole new 5 minutes that was not as tested, not as clever, and he completely bombed. And I think the same thing, hero. Like you're trying to be the hero of the mic, and when he should have just stuck to his
Trust what got you
fundamentals,
there.
trust the system. He was already like a shoe-in, and then he fucking flopped. It was weird.
Sure.
It's
It's
weird
just
to
like-
watch.
And it's funny you bring that up because we both been working with Les some time now. Me probably longer than you.
Oh yeah, way longer.
And when I came in with Les, the first thing that I learned in the class was keep compiling your funny on top of your funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just keep adding in stuff here and there. Just adding stuff in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's been working for me all of these years.
But don't abandon. But the thing we also talk about is, and I remember this being in Jerry Seinfeld's movie, the comedian or the comic,
The comedian.
comedian, where he went up there and did a new. He opened with new material, and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he's sitting there with Ray Romano and a few other people, and he's going, "How stupid, man!" He goes, "I know that. That's a cardinal rule. Don't open with new material because you didn't protect it.
No,
It's like you don't go, and you see so many open micers that go up and they do a whole new 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I go, no, man, you take 3 minutes of that 5 is your tried and true stuff that you're just constantly making sure is getting better and sharper.
Yeah.
And then you take 2 minutes. and you wedge it in the middle.
Right.
To
Yeah.
where you've already got them laughing. You've already proved to them that you're good, that you're funny.
Yeah.
And then it gives that new stuff an opportunity
Right.
Opportunity.
to work. And then if it doesn't, you've already decided. You already know I'm going to follow this up with something else that's solid.
Yeah.
So you're never caught flat-footed long.
No.
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And then you put it in pieces. You know, I mean, it's like be like a popular musical group going up and going at a concert and going, hey man, we just did a new album and that's all we're going to play tonight.
Yeah.
We're not going to play any of the hits from our
Yeah.
past. We're just going to do that. And we're like, well, that you know.
That whole
Bullshit.
crowd would start throwing shoes.
Yeah, they
man.
will start throwing shit.
Yes, sir.
Rush the
Pissed off.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You got to trust what got you there.
That's
you
right.
know?
And the other thing is, why are you there? Is it just for you or is it for the audience?
Right.
It's for both of you,
It's
but
for both.
primarily it's for the audience.
Right,
Your
right.
your purpose is to make them have a good time.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. And if you do that, you're going to have a good time too.
Right.
But if you get so caught up in your own self that, and I see comics do that all the time, they get so caught up in their self
Yeah.
that it's kind of fuck the audience, and then they
Yeah.
blame the audience.
Yep.
And you go, and I love to hear a comic blame the audience when they came to a comedy club. I mean, it's one thing when you went to Joe's Bar and Grill
Yeah.
and there was a one-nighter, and most of the people there didn't even know there was going to be comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
but
They're just there.
and not that you can't get a lackluster crowd in a comedy club.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can. You
yeah.
can get a low energy crowd. You can get, but still, and yet they came to a comedy club. They
Right.
made a decision
Yeah.
to come to a comedy club. They wanted to laugh. They want to.
Right.
You know, and then you know you're as a comic, it's like that crowd sucked, da 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 da, and you go, well, maybe,
It's kind of you.
but maybe you just didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all not click at times, but if I walk off stage and not have a good set with a club, with a crowd, especially in a comedy club, but anywhere, my mind more goes to, I didn't have enough material.
Right.
I didn't have enough variety
Mm.
of material to feel them out and get them.
Appeal to them, yeah.
You know, that at least the way I think. Now I know that there are comics that are very specific to, I only do this.
Right.
And celebrities, a lot of because they're branded a certain way, and
They
and
get their crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're a celebrity and you're already a celebrity, you're kind of playing to your crowd all the time anyway.
All the time,
you're
yeah.
not playing to people that don't,
Yeah, it's very rare.
Yeah, no. Unless they hire you for a corporate gig.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Then you could be,
Yeah. It's weird how that works. I heard like you can avoid that if you go to like places like LA and New York because they're doing so many sets there that people aren't necessarily there to see you in particular. Like
Still, a celebrity's a celebrity.
yeah, you're like,
But yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
When you say that, yes, you are correct, because yes, you're in the Comedy Cellar.
right.
No one knows that Louis C.K. or Amy Schumer or whoever,
Is gonna do a set.
Aziz or somebody is going to drop in
Yeah.
and do a set. They don't know.
They don't know.
So you're exactly right. They could come in and not have a great set,
Mhm.
especially because it's a crowd that's their kind of comedy's just not their cup of tea.
Yeah,
especially.
exactly.
Or they're working on material anyway.
That's new, right?
I mean,
That's
that's kind of a thing. When comics, lots of times people don't realize when clubs get celebrities, especially big name celebrities, that you just that normally you're like, wow, last time I saw them it was at the 2,000 or 5,000 seat
Right.
arena. It wasn't, and now they're over at the comedy club. Well, it's because 9 times out of 10 they're working on a new show. They're
hour,
working on a new show, so they're going into the comedy clubs to do that, and they're not really there to do any of the golden oldies. They're there to work on new material.
Yeah.
I know a buddy of mine owns a big club and that's been around forever, and Birmingham, Bruce Ayers in Birmingham, great fucking awesome club.
Yeah.
And he gets huge celebrities. He always has. But, Chris Rock would go down there and do things. But he goes, people don't realize Chris isn't going to do any of his old stuff.
No, why would you?
It's all because he's working on something. So
Right.
sometimes it's not a killer-ass show.
No, yeah. And they're
It's a good
expecting
show, but it's not just a killer show because he's working on new stuff,
I kind of like that, though. I like that the industry dictates that a little bit. Like, I like that you might come to expect to see the greatest Chris Rock hour ever, but like he still has to play clubs in order to get to the next hour. You know what I mean? I love that
absolutely.
because I just think that's a great. If you're a true comedy fan, I think you'd appreciate that. If you're just some person that bought a Chris Rock ticket and then he's like, "What is this? He's not doing his old routine." I get why they might get
I
disappointed.
think a part of it is knowing what you're getting ready to see.
right.
I know myself as a club owner, I like to be able to prepare the audience as much as possible
Sure.
for whatever they're going to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I've got a huge star coming in here, that's working on an HBO special or
Right.
whatever, I like to let my audience know that that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
You are getting to witness them working on the HBO special that they're going to tape in October.
Sure. Yeah.
So when you see it
yeah.
on television, you will have been a part of seeing a lot of the process of that.
Yeah.
Which to big fans, I think is really cool.
It is cool, I think
when
so.
they see the final product and go, oh, they did that, but they didn't do that way.
Exactly.
That wasn't even in the show.
Yeah.
And
It's a special moment, I think, because every show's different, slightly in some
Yeah.
weird way.
Uh-huh.
I know Kevin Hart, like that's part of his process. He'll go to like the Comedy Store in L.A. to start when he just released a new special. He's starting from scratch. He goes to the Comedy Store for like a month and then just keeps on doing small sets until he gets to the point where he can take it on the road with him. And then he does clubs to small theaters, but he's still working on that hour. He just has enough to make it a show worth buying tickets to.
Right.
And then, 2 years later, he releases another hour.
Right.
Smart,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I think there's a certain level. Anytime you don't want to be totally experimenting on a paying audience.
No.
In a sense, I
Yeah.
mean, you want, unless they totally understand.
Let's say all on board.
You want that cut glass focus. That's what I call it. That
Yeah.
cut glass focus.
Mhm. Absolutely.
It works. It works.
Yawning.
Yeah.
I was up early.
Yeah, you went golfing, that's why, right?
Well, actually, I got up early to do a bunch of chores before
right.
that I needed to knock out before I went.
Right.
How is little Zayden coming along, man?
Zayden, my grandson, is doing great. He just had his last doctor checkup a couple days ago, and they said he was right on track for 4 months. They said he's got a little bit of a big head. We know that. A little bit of big. But they said his head stability was at 6 months. He has 6 month head stability, Geno. For a 4-month-old, 6 month head stability.
6 month head stability.
I said, you
That's
want
great.
Pam told me that. I go,
That's
you know
great.
why? Because he's a genius. That's why he's a genius.
He's a genius.
They're all
already.
geniuses when
Yeah.
they're babies.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
you a genius
He's
there,
a
man.
genius. And
funny.
nice, dude. He's great. He's such an easy boy. He's such an easy infant.
Yeah.
He just not fussy. He's not fussy at all. I mean, he just chill.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You guys look like I be seeing you guys post, especially Pam post. I was telling her tonight, I said, you guys look like y'all having so much fun with them.
We really are. We really are as a family. I'm going to say we haven't had this much fun with Taylor, our daughter, and as a family since she was probably 10, 11, 12 years old.
Right.
Because as soon as she hit teenager, we weren't having as much fun as we were before then. She was hell on wheels as a teenager. And, but still, it's that little kid thing. And I know you know it. You're doing it.
Yeah, I'm to the point now where
you got two, right?
Yeah, I'm to the point now. The best thing about the grandbaby is you can always take them home when stuff ain't going right.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, these young kids now, it's amazing though. To see how they develop and how fast they learn and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful experience. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trade it in for now. I probably trade some of the kids in, but I wouldn't trade the experience in.
No, it is. It's fun. It's fun, the whole grandfather thing. And, you can't wait till they get a little older where you can actually do stuff with them, But, I mean, here in this last week, Taylor brought him over 3 different times, and for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, it was just me and Zayden.
Yeah.
Well, one day, Rays. I bring up, this is our first Rays game.
Yeah.
And me and you, Rays.
Yeah.
So we're talking Rays. I'm doing the thing. And then the Masters comes on. And they're their first Masters, So we're watching that. And then, and a few weeks ago, it was the NCAA championship.
You're sharing everything.
So it was our first NCAA, And I was like, well, this is where it all gets started, man.
That's where it all goes down.
That's right. That's right.
It's all in the trip. It's all in the trip.
Absolutely it is,
Enjoy it now, because when it gets to that point where, stop, put this down, don't go over there, get back over here, sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That's when it started getting weird. Come over here, get back over here. Come sit down. I say, don't throw that over there. Yeah, it's going to get there.
I know.
But it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm really glad you guys are having this experience, especially for Taylor, you know what I mean, because it helps mature her up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she has a serious responsibility,
Yes.
and she's doing an awesome job right now.
Absolutely, she is. And, it's just so, we were talking about it, and I experienced it. I'm sure y'all did too. It's like when you're in the young part of your life, teens, early 20s, and you haven't found purpose yet. You haven't found purpose. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know. Lots of times you don't know what you're gifted at. You don't know what your thing is. You don't know what you want to do. You haven't. So when you haven't found purpose, it's easy to be selfish. I mean,
Sure.
it's hard not to be. I mean, even when you're a really good person, and that's not. But still, you're kind of into self, and I think when some young women, when they get that first baby, that's exactly what happens to them when it's positive. Is that gives them purpose, and they embrace motherhood, and it's awesome. It's awesome when you see it.
It goes the same for males too.
Mm-hmm.
It goes the same for the males that feel like that responsibility part.
Right.
Is that, you know what I mean? Because that happened for me, you know what I mean? Once I got to that point where, that first child, I was like, oh, man, I could still be hanging out. But then once that reality set in, like, oh, man, I can't just say I'm going here. Now I got to make sure the baby's straight before I can do this. So the mindset started changing.
Sure.
Like, oh, man, I got to make sure he got food. I got to make sure they got clothes. I got to make sure, you know what I mean, the mom is all right. Everything is straight. So your mindset women get it faster because they're actually with the baby all the time. The men, once they start getting to the responsible men, then you see that change. It start pulling you away from all the other things you do. You might still do some of the other things.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't do them as consistently as you were doing.
Well, I remember me, just in a simple thing of, and me and Pam both, is that once you have a child there, you go, well, when it was just the two of us, we could sit here in the evening and drink a bottle and a half of wine and catch a nice buzz and, whatever, and this, that, and the other. Where you go, when there's a baby there, I can't we both can't catch a buzz.
Yeah.
We have to choose. You're going to catch a buzz tonight. I'm going to catch a buzz tomorrow night. And if we're both going to catch a buzz, we got to wait till Aunt Kay comes over.
Sure.
Because you go in that scenario. What if the baby started choking? What ifs that if something all of a sudden happened that you needed full focus and you couldn't because you were impaired.
That's
and
that responsibility
and then
side.
something worse happened to that child because you weren't able, because you were impaired and you weren't. I go, that's, you'd never forgive yourself.
It's not worth it at all.
It's not worth it.
No.
And so where before your life could be very cavalier, whatever, do what you want when you want, all of a sudden now you go, and I know I talked to Taylor about it, you have to plan.
Right.
If you want a party, you have to plan it.
Right.
You have to plan it. Who's going to be here that ain't partying?
Right.
That's going to be on point that I trust.
Right.
With the children.
Right.
And so it's like I told Taylor, I said, you can still have a wonderful life and you can still be gregarious and you can still go out and party and have fun, but you just have to plan it.
Right.
You can't just do it on the fucking fly. Although people do, and
one thing I experienced, and it was and the biggest experience was this weekend. Like I said, with the AAU team, we have the tournaments we've been going to. Like some of them, we go out of town. We'll leave that Saturday, and we'll come back that Sunday. You know what I mean? So, if you have a good game or whatever, good tournament, you come back home. You've been going today. You come back home, relax. You can have you a glass of wine or something, you and your lady. This tournament, we were actually in Orlando Friday, and like I said, we was there Friday to Sunday. So Saturday was we call Saturday our hump day, cause we had 3 games in one day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's nerve wracking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All day you gotta keep the boys focused. You gotta keep them fed. That's nerve wracking. So when we got back to the hotel Saturday night, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go downstairs and get me something to drink at the bar, and then that responsibility side shot into me. It was like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because you got all these boys here at the hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got responsibilities. You know what I mean? You can't be impaired. None of your coaches can be impaired when you entrusted with these kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's a mindset of that responsibility mindset.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I've been so adapt to that responsibility mindset that even when it kicked in with older boys, I realized what I still can't do when they're entrusted with me. You know what I mean? Because that's a hard
thing. 10th
thing.
graders too, right?
They're 10th graders.
Because they're thinking about going out and getting drunk.
Right,
too.
right.
That's right.
You gotta watch that.
Right.
And and of course, leading by example.
Right.
You go catch a buzz and one of the kids sees you, especially when they're 15, 16 years
Right.
old. Well, they know you
Right.
have a buzz.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
You
catch
can't
on
fool
to,
them.
No.
Yeah.
They got and they're going, well, fuck, that's the way it is, But yeah. I mean, and you would hope, you wish everybody that parents
Right.
thinks that way.
I
And
was
unfortunately, everybody parents doesn't think that way.
Right. I was sitting in the room Saturday night, and actually if we would have lost the game, we would have had 3 games, but since we won both games, we got the night off. So I was sitting in the room Saturday night, me and my daughter, and my wife, and like 3 of the boys came in the room, the team captain, my son, and another one came in, and he was like, Coach, what's the plan for tomorrow? You know what I mean? And I was like, we just got to trust what we've been doing. We got to stick to this. We got to stick to that. And they actually hung out in the room with me for a while. You know what I mean? And I got a chance to pick their brain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Talk to them, because what we went out and did with this team is we're with this team. What makes it so different? We're not just trying to teach these guys on the court. We're trying to teach them about life off the court as well. That's why that we came up with the name Manatee Legacy, because legacy stands for let's educate, guide, and change our youth. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time that I spend with them or around them, I'm coaching them on the court, but I'm always trying to show them about life, trying to teach them about things that's going on in life.
Right.
One example was 2 of the kids on my team, 2 of the kids in our organization, our team, they go to Braden River. They go to Braden River.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard about it, but Braden River lost one of their star senior point guards a couple months ago. He got killed right down here in Sarasota. He was in the car with a bunch of friends, and they're playing with a gun. And bam, the gun goes off. And he was a star senior. He had college
Jesus.
he had college scholarships all ready to go places and stuff like that.
Wow.
And bam, he's gone. And two of my 10th graders was on his varsity team with him. You know what I mean? So I was showing them, the scenarios of life. And he was a good kid, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those are the types of scenarios that I try to show them as well. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're in a certain spot, you have to continue to be in a certain way. You know what I mean? Because even though a night of fun for him, he couldn't have foreseen what the outcome of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the point I was trying to show them is the decisions you make, whether they're fun or whether they're just hanging out. I said, if it's anything that comes in that vicinity where you have to question, why is that gun here? You're immediately supposed to get away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just in that instant, a good kid is gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I
terrible.
try to teach a lot of. That's what I try to preach to my team. You know.
Right.
You know, we got to be.
And it wasn't like anybody purposefully shot the guy.
No,
it was just a gun. It was an act. They were goofing around.
Right. So he lost his life, and the friend that was in the car basically lost his life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of the situation, the scenario.
Right.
And that's why, it's so important for me and my coaches to try the organization, the way that we taking it is we're trying to bring a different outset to the youth. Instead of using them for their athletic ability, let's try to make these young men into future fathers or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they see you doing the right way,
Right.
that's gonna help them do the right way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's a lot goes into that responsibility thing.
Well, you've been doing that for a long time, and I love that what you guys have done
Right.
with the young people. And you mentioned a long time ago that you'll have that there's several of these athletes that they don't have dads, or they don't have a dad that's really there for them.
Right.
And you guys know you're kind of their dads.
Right. Right.
I mean, you're it, and that's just it's awesome. It's awesome that you do it, and that's the great thing about sports. So often, that sports. I will say that sports and the arts, whether it's sports or band or acting
Community.
or theater, any of those things that you're within a community of other people that are all being responsible and good, good to each other and kind and responsible the way that life ought to be.
Right.
And so often isn't. And it just makes, I know it turns so many kids around. And that's where it's so fucked up when you hear about school systems cutting money, for those
clubs.
kind of programs, and
Right.
just going, no, we're just going to stick with academics. Well, you're missing half the what we're doing with the kids. I mean, when it comes down to brass tacks, and I think I know there's a certain amount of people, they'll say it's not my job to raise those kids. It's not my job to pay tax money
Yeah, well,
to raise kids. And you go, well, you can say that, but as we all know, you'll deal with it on the other end.
right. It's a
Right.
foundation. You're not laying way for a foundation.
Well, one of my favorite, points of the Bible is with Christ was no lamb left behind.
Right.
And when I say that, I go, I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you believe in Jesus as the Savior, or where you believe it or not. But just the thought of no lamb left behind. We don't sacrifice anybody. Everybody's valuable. Everybody's valuable.
That's right.
And there's book after book and movie after movie and television special after television special about the person who was that person that if you were going to leave somebody behind, that was a son of a bitch to leave behind. Definitely. They would have even said, I was the son of a bitch to
Right.
be left behind.
Right.
And somebody didn't.
Right.
Somebody didn't, and because of that, they went on to, not just to become a good person together and be a person that society is not having to take care of.
Right.
But they've gone on to be something more than that, where they're taking care of others, where they're being a huge positive thing, and so that's the reason nobody left behind. No matter what, I think.
yeah. I was thinking about it the other day. Actually, is Les is gonna get up, but it's like we have so many things now. I think that isolate people. I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous in a sense to, so many people get caught up in their success
Yeah.
that sometimes a lot of them forget how they got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's what makes it dangerous. You know what I mean? If you remember,
Yeah.
if you remember how you got there, then you don't mind having that extra sentence for a person but that can change their life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be, you have to take this person up under your wing to make this person a better person.
No.
You can just show that person just kind words, or,
Right.
you know what I mean, or like a little direction,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And then that kid probably never had that. That man, most men don't have that.
No.
And you can give them that little direction, and you don't know how their life can take off. You
It's
know
just-
what I mean?
Yeah, it's small things like that. I think that's why I appreciate the internet for all of its good qualities, but also it's a bummer with all the bad qualities. I think one of them is isolationism. Like you have kids, especially today, that are going home and their friends are online. Their friends aren't even in front of them. They're living in other parts of the world. You know what I mean? And they just isolate themselves, and they're not part of a community at all.
And they're not associating themselves
No.
with the community.
And they become socially inept, where they can barely have conversations with people in front of
Right,
them.
right.
It's weird to see. Like my cousin's like 19, and like luckily he was part of sports. You know what I mean? But I've seen some of his friends, and I'm like, you can barely talk to them. They don't even know how to form sentences almost in a social situation.
Right.
I'm sure they could write one down or something. It's not like they can't read or write, but man, I think it's a problem. I really do. I think it's not something that we've ever faced before.
And just like it has its good side, it has a downfall too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I see so many people put their business all out on social media.
Yeah.
And, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
your business is your business.
Yeah.
And then when you put your business out there on social media, soon someone calls you out on that, or
Yeah.
said something about it,
Mm-hmm.
then you're hell over high water mad with that person, but you're the one open that door. You
Yeah.
open that door. You know what I mean? Like I said, it has its good points, but it has a lot of bad also. You know what I mean?
It does, yeah. I don't like the way people communicate anymore. Like, it's weird like that, especially in my generation. I'm 27 myself, but it seems like people are more comfortable with texting or messaging you. It's so impersonal. Like, just call me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially if it's something important. If you're saying, hey, I'm on the way, don't call me for that. That's a dick move. But,
Right.
you know, when you're texting me something, like, pretty important or personal, like, why are you texting me this? It's, like,
Right,
it's
right.
so impersonal. It's just,
And they do that a lot. You know, some people are actually doing business move on
Yeah.
the text. You know what I mean?
yeah.
When the moment that you're sitting there taking that time to text, you could have just picked up the phone, and 2 minutes later you could have
yeah.
got a complete understanding. But that goes back to they're becoming so socially inept
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they really can't communicate what they're texting.
Not effectively.
You know what
no.
I mean? That's why they're texting what they're texting, you know,
Yeah.
because they don't have that communication skills like, you know what I
No.
mean? They're losing their communication skills. Put
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, they're not. It's like anything else, any skill. It's like muscle memory. You gotta work at it. You know what I mean. And like they're losing that. They're going like I don't know. It's just, it's a bummer to me because I don't like it personally. I hate when I get a paragraph from somebody. You know what I mean? Even if I pissed you off or something, or I wronged you in some way, maybe like, whatever happened. It's like I get a paragraph from you right now. Like you could just talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't be face to face necessarily. Just talk to me though. Like, why do I gotta read this like Bible passage that you just sent me? You know what I mean? Like this is
And
insane.
some people feel when they send you them long texts of telling you how they feel, and
yeah,
you know what I mean, this is supposed to make you feel a certain way.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because they're upset right now. My mind is, I think we could have got a complete and better understanding either face-to-face or a phone call.
yeah,
You
for
know
sure.
what I mean? Because I don't know how you feel when you're writing this text.
No,
You know what I mean? You could be bull crapping me in this text.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You could be out there saying, I'm really going to make him feel bad. You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But if I'm on the phone, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, I can read you a
You
little
know what I
bit.
mean? Or I can see it in your face. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But a
Yeah.
text is just so,
Yeah, you can't convey
nothing.
tone. You can't.
you can't connect with it.
No, it's terrible. I've been in so many. Like one time, you know, just for an example, I was like, like in my head, I was like, oh yeah, fuck you, but it came across as like, oh yeah, fuck you, and then it started like a fucking fight. And I'm like, no, I was totally joking. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and it's like you can't convey tone. You just can't. Like, especially if you're a comic, it's a terrible idea to text people.
Right.
I think because you're always trying to make jokes, and you can't. Like if you're like written down a joke, and then like somebody else reads it, like I've had that happen to me before. They like open up my notebook and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "It doesn't. It's weird when it's written down. Like it's not in comedic form at all.
Right.
You know, it's like let me say it on stage before you judge me. You know, what I
Because
mean?
we're breaking it. When they see it, they just reading what we have wrote off the top of our head.
Exactly.
They're not reading. They haven't heard it.
Nah.
They don't know the way we're breaking it down. They don't know the
No.
way we're processing it to break it down
Yeah.
to make it seem completely different.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So it's just like the saying is, there's no feeling in when you reading it and not seeing it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or not hearing it.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
I you know what I mean? I wouldn't say that I dislike social media, but I don't think it should be the way of the world right now. You know what I mean?
Too much focus on it.
Too much focus on it.
Take a step
Everywhere
back.
you look now, someone is like this.
Yeah, it's rough.
You
It's
know,
rough to
someone
watch.
is texting on their phone. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's that little safety net. I actually tried this social experiment before. I just went out to eat, and I just left my phone in the car, and I found that I wasn't able to have that out. You know, where you're sitting there when you're talking to somebody, and then you have like that awkward drop-in conversation, maybe silence, maybe the waiter comes up, but I didn't have that ability to just pull my phone out and pretend, or maybe find something or distract myself from the conversation. And I found that I was able to converse much easier. I didn't have this fallback. You know what I mean? This like ability to just go, oh, well, fuck the world. I can just look at my phone now and it doesn't matter what's going on around me. It forced me to be in the situation at all times, you know? And I kind of liked it. And of course, I missed like 3 phone calls, but I still, like, it was a good, you know, it was a good little training exercise, if you will, you know?
You can actually see some people, and they're together in the same room.
Yeah.
In the same group.
Yeah.
And nobody's communicating. Everybody's like this.
Yeah. It scares me, honestly. I think like that's the future holds for us. Just people talking through their phones, even if they're right in front of each other. It's very strange.
It's really not even nothing to really look forward to.
No, it's not exciting.
You know what I mean? Because and then they don't realize everything that you put in social media, everything you put on your phone can be used against you in the future.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a track record of it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, stop giving out all your opinions. You know what I mean? Careful. That's all.
So somewhere you put in there, man, I really want to kill Bill. And then Bill gets killed.
Yeah.
So they give you a call. We need to call. We contacted you about a text you put out August 21st of 2016. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can't say I was just joking. Look, it says it. I was just
It's right
joking.
there.
Nah, yeah.
Man,
That's some
I ain't
funny
seen
shit.
Bill in 20 years.
Yeah.
This is the green room, guys. We've been doing a podcast all night. Come here, sit down, Rob. No, you sit here. Sit there, Kelly. See, what we've been doing, it's just called a conversation from the green. So you just put that right there. And we already talked about the fact that Rob and Kelly were here earlier, that y'all were in for first time here and this, that, and the other, and that we didn't say anything else. I don't think, did we?
About what?
About these guys?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't tell any fucked up
You
stories.
trashed them a little bit, but I mean.
Not much.
What's trashed up?
No, not at all. Not
You
at
better
all.
be careful.
That's right. No, we were in. Rob was in Lambda Chi fraternity, and I hung out with Lambda Chi fraternity, but we never actually joined
Right.
the fraternity. But at some point, somebody said we were in it. And Danny Newton said it was somebody that could do that.
Right.
Like some grand poo fucking bah. Somebody. I think it was when we were in Nashville.
Well, that was only 44 years ago, Les.
Yeah. Well, it was 44 years ago. But and I want to say that, would you consider that fraternity at Memphis State was the Animal House fraternity?
Pretty much.
I mean, was there another? Was it like Sigma Chi or something like? Wasn't there like one other one that was
Sigma Chi, SAE was pretty crazy.
pretty
too.
body, pretty crazy?
Yeah, there were some bow and arrows shot across Midland Avenue into the other.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You remember?
Which one from the roof?
Well, SAE shot an arrow into the SIGAP house into the front door.
Oh. Oh, were they disciplined for that?
Yes. They got in a little trouble.
Christ.
Well, which one was the one that Stanley and maybe Russ or somebody stole their sign?
We got in trouble for throwing 8 dozen eggs at the Pi Kappa Phi house.
Well,
And when we got pulled over by the cops, we still had some eggs in the back seat.
oh.
And that's when the big R said we were going to a cookout.
Oh.
The cops asked me where you were going with the eggs.
Make some omelets.
At the cookout, they go make some omelets.
We were making omelets.
And you think nowadays people would go, that's how wild they were. They were throwing eggs at a thing. Not a drive-by shooting.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
No weaponry at all.
I think that throwing eggs is a little better.
Absolutely. So
You get the bullets.
did you like the show?
Yeah.
Did you like the experience? Good.
Show was great. Everybody was really good.
I thought it was a good night tonight too. We didn't catch much of Jim's because we were back here talking, jamming around. But
Yeah, I heard them though.
they were laughing.
Yeah.
They
He
were
was
laughing.
really good.
And now we got open mic night. So this is y'all's first time in Sarasota.
First time here.
2 days on the beach, a little bit of goofing around. Do you like the place?
I love it. Yeah, it's really nice.
How about the weather?
Weather's awesome.
Okay.
We're only going to have one bad day.
Yeah.
Friday. Friday, we got a storm rolling in, which will drop the temperature Friday night and Saturday. I don't think it's supposed to get above 70 degrees or 72 or
I
something
love
like
that.
that.
That's
you know.
still good for
Oh,
Memphis, though, right?
Yeah, for us,
I just said that's still good.
love
for
April
Memphis.
and May, for us to still get 70 degrees, we're like, ooh, that's good.
That's fat man weather right
That
there.
is fat man weather.
That's a fat man's weather right there. That's my shit right there.
It's been raining at home for months now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been terrible.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Well, we just get that little thing on Friday, and I was trying to think of what y'all would do. You might just hold up in the hotel. I don't know what y'all do.
Now, we've been married 30 years, Les. We're not holding up in the hotel.
Okay. All right. All right. That's right. That's 15 minutes.
That bus
At
left a
best.
long, yeah, that left a long
At best,
time ago.
15. Good, solid 15. That's with foreplay and everything.
Yeah.
That's like talking,
Yeah.
ice cream after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I read that the other day. I was curious what was the average, because I knew I'd heard it. What was the length of an average?
Conversation?
No. You know,
Coitus.
getting it on.
Coitus. Okay.
Get on, bang it, gone.
Bang a dong, yeah.
They said it was 6 to 8 minutes
Wow.
was average for anybody.
They're bragging.
And then they said
They're
10 to 15 was like, that was like, you know, really, that was really a big deal. And
Yeah.
so the all night long shit, what are you doing really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
think, what are you
a lot of
really
stuff
doing?
I
going
mean,
on,
what's
yeah.
really going on in the room?
All night long.
All night long.
We did it all night long.
Yeah.
What?
Stopped
do?
Played Scrabble halfay through.
So yeah, watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
We was
started
naked the
back.
whole time though. That counts. That
Yeah.
counts.
We held hands. We touched. It was very touching. It was very touching. That's good. No, I was thinking, but like, you know, the things here in Sarasota are like the whole Ringling grounds.
Right.
You know, the museum's awesome, and Cottazon, the home, and the Circus Museum, but just the art museum alone, or Moat Marine, the
Right.
Shark Research Institute,
yeah.
which is an aquarium, and then but also they have an estuary program. It's a research area. You know, whenever they have a beached whale or dolphins that come in, they bring them there to rehab them and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool place. As a matter of fact, they're getting ready to build a new one out by the interstate. It's going to be magnificent.
That's
out
gonna
there.
be huge
Really?
too.
Yes, it's going to be amazing thing. You know. So well, are we going to go have a drink?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. You approve, Kelly? Okay. All right.
Well, let's wrap it
all
up.
right. We wrapping this thing up.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Conversation's over.
Conversation's over. Thank
Show's
you.
over. Conversation's over.
It's over.
Nice hanging out with you guys.
It was
man.
good.
It's been real.
It was good. It's good to have you back again.
Memphis crew in the building. So
That's
it-
right.
it's-
Memphis is
right.
here. Memphis is here.
Yeah, y'all taking over.
It's been real.
Hey,
It's been
Geno,
real.
are we paying you this week?
I hope so.
Fuck. Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again for listening to yet another episode of our Conversation podcast. Check out our website at McCurdysComedy.com for all of our upcoming events, shows. Also, check out Jim McCue at JimMcCue.com for all things Jim McCue. He runs the Boston Comedy Festival up in Boston, and for all those aspiring comedians, is a good person to know. Also, check out Geno Williams, aka Geno the Garbage Man. He's a regular here at Mccurdys. He's always playing. And check him out on Facebook at Geno Williams. And thanks again for tuning in to another week. We'll see you next time.